We got no wrestlers in there, but we got the ring. Okay, Dave Brown, Lance Russell, ready to bring you the opening bout here with David Oswald going against Carl Fergie. Now we have flesh and blood ready to go on Championship Wrestling, and Davey for the official introduction.
All right, we'll start on the left side of the ring. From Jonesboro, Arkansas, 222 pounds, David Oswald. And going against him from Atlanta, Georgia, 228 pounds, Carl Fergie. This will be a one-fall, 15-minute time limit match. There's your referee, Paul Morton.
Okay, we got the aggressive youngster David Oswald in there. We got the bell, and across the ring from him, a guy that really a capable wrestler, Carl Fergie. Dave?
This should be a fine match. The word underrated has been used to describe Carl Fergie many times. He's a fine wrestler. He's looked good in the months that he's been around the area. Oswald, as you mentioned, well, he doesn't back up from anybody in the ring. He has become an especially aggressive young wrestler recently. Fergie yanked him off his feet, put him down on the mat. Carl wrapping up that left arm. You see Oswald grab the shoulder. That's where all the pressure goes. There's a twist on it. There's a little extra pressure. Forearm by Carl Fergie. Arm up behind the back. Hammer position. Oswald trying to work his way back to his feet. He's up on one knee, now on his feet, but Carl Fergie still maintained the hold. Well, not for long. Reversal by Oswald, but Fergie reverses him right back, and Carl Fergie in control again. Minute 20 seconds into the action. Oswald with a flip. He was going to try to break it. Carl Fergie was hanging on tight, though, and Fergie still has the advantage. Oswald using combination forearm and fist. Fergie into the rope. Shoulder butt by Fergie coming off there. He was set. Now he steps over. Oswald waits. Fergie reverses in. Oswald back for more. Carl Fergie drops him down. Bars the left arm. There is Carl Fergie from Atlanta, Georgia. Fergie put a little extra pressure on the hold, but had to break it briefly as Oswald was set to move when he had the chance. Carl Fergie still has the hold. Oswald backs him into the corner. Back in that corner, referee Paul Morton is calling for a break. Fergie had to give up the hold. Oswald grabs a headlock back in the corner. Fergie fires it into the rope. Oswald has the shoulder butt coming off of there. Fergie lets him go by, sets himself. It's in. There's a cover, one. One count is all he gets. David Oswald breaks the cover. Well, there's a 2 count. Signal by referee Paul Morton that he did get a 2 count. But 2 is not 3. You have to have 3 to win a match. Carl Fergie grabs that left arm again. He's been working on Oswald's arm most of the match. We're 3 minutes 45 seconds into it. It's a one-fall match. Overall time limit 15 minutes. Carl Fergie, a little upper arm pressure.
Sure, at least 50 or 80 times I have said on Championship Wrestling that Fergie, when you get up next to him, is a lot bigger than he looks like on TV. You've noticed that too, haven't you?
Yes, he is a rather tall, very solid individual.
Well, you got that right.
Boy, he has kept the heat on Oswald's arm. It takes quite a bit of strength. Given a guy like Oswald is smaller, but he's quite mobile. He can move around rather easily, but Fergie has kept him tied up most of this match, and he's done most of it by hanging onto that left arm one way or the other.
Oswald, yeah, there he goes.
Firing that right fist. Upper arm, that was all right. With Fergie into the turnbuckles. Oswald goes in after it, but Fergie was gone when he got there. Oswald bounced harmlessly back to the center of the ring. Oh,
good forearm.
Yeah. Fergie, upper arm, hammers into the mat. Another forearm by Fergie and a cover. 1, 2 count. Again for the second time. Count of 2. 5 minutes gone. Oswald using the forearm and or the fist. Fergie puts him into the ropes. Abdominal stretch he's going for. I think you may have him.
Boy, and Carl has got the height to put it on. Beautiful. And he just shoves David Oswald down. A little irritated that Oswald started the cheapy stuff of wailing and knocking on him like that, and Carl didn't take him very long once he got that dander up to get that abdominal stretch on him, Davey.
He got it. He held it 5 minutes, 27 seconds. The time on it and the win for Fergie.
Yeah. Carl was involved in a match. Not really. It wasn't by his own design that he intended to. He was sitting in the corner of Handsome Jimmy is just to kind of negate the presence of Jimmy Hart when Handsome Jimmy was involved in a match with Tommy Rich. Well, circumstances developed to where Handsome Jimmy won the Southern Heavyweight title by Tommy Rich. Tommy Rich took great exception to Carl Fergie's part in that, blamed him for the loss of the Southern Heavyweight title and many other things. The Championship Wrestling cameras went to listen to Tommy Rich rant and rave about it, and let's take a listen to what he had to say.
Carl Fergie, you redneck country bumpkin, you know you want to be a superstar. You tried it down there with Jimmy Valiant last week. You know, you've never made big money. And I'm sitting here adding up and subtracting how much money I've lost by what you've done, you know, last week. You cost me my title, Fergie. Whiteville, Tennessee, you want to be a superstar. You know, you talk about country come to town. But when you come from Whiteville, Tennessee, brother, and come to Memphis, Louisville, Evansville, it don't matter what town, that is country come to town, brother. And Fergie, you're not no superstar. You've never made big money. You know what it is to lose a title match. You know, and the sad, sick thing about it is, you know, I asked Jimmy Hart, I said, Jimmy, give me the chain. I got the chain, and then I stuck it in my tights. I reconsidered. I said, no, that's not the right way, man. You can whip Jimmy Valiant without a chain. So I stuck it back in my tights. Now, who wanders around the ring and grabs a chain but Carl Fergie, the little country bumpkin redneck? You know, you and all of your country redneck friends, Fergie, you're going to need somebody. Because I've done a lot of thinking. I thought, well, now do I go after the title or do I teach somebody a lesson? You wanted to be a superstar. You wanted to be big time, Fergie. Well, you're going to find out what big time's all about. Because just like I said, I was in line for Robinson. After I beat Valiant one more time, I was top dog. That may be the #1 contender here, which meant I was the new great white hope. Fergie, you cost me all of it, brother. You cost it all in one night. You wanted to be big time. Well, I told the promoter, if he wants to be big time and wants to fight or wrestle, and Fergie, I'm telling you something, just like I said, I've been doing a little figuring right here on my pad, how much you cost me. You know, and I said Muhammad Ali predicted the round, brother. Well, I'm going to predict the round because I'm going to lay you down and I'm going to wear and I'm going to tear your head all to pieces, Fergie. My ladies, they went crazy when I come home and told them that Carl Fergie, they laughed at me, Fergie. They laughed. Said, you let that country redneck outsmart you, Tommy. And I had to tuck my head and say, yeah, I did. Well, Fergie, Let me tell you something, brother. I've got with the promoters. You usually get everything your way. Well, I've got it my way now, Fergie. I'm coming after you, country boy. You better get all of your tobacco-chewing redneck friends and have them down there hooping and hollering. Because after I get through with you, it's going to be the last time, Fergie, anybody gets to hoop or holler or anything else for you, brother. They'll be in mourning after I get through with you. Because that's exactly what I plan on doing, is destroying you, Fergie. And I don't care where it's at, man. You have had it, just like on black and white paper. I said you cost me a lot. And when I get you in that ring, country boy, you're going to find out exactly how much you did cost me.
Well, there's Tommy Rich, and I think the intention was certainly not what Rich said about being a superstar or what. Carl was doing what he was there for. But anyhow, Rich took major exception to it, and those were his comments regarding Carl Fergie. We're going to take time out. We've got Sonny King and the Angel coming in here. We'll be back to that right after we take time out for this.